So, Grand Rising, everyone. Thank you for jumping on. Not sure how my internet is going to hold up because I am in an area that we're not used to being in. So, hopefully, this is not too uh, too sketchy. But do me a favor, guys. As you jump on, drop your city and state, like the video, and share the video. I am going to share this to our Facebook group. So, give me 1 minute to do that because we don't want those guys to be left out. And then I'm going to do a little bit of introduction and all that good jazz. Okay, give me 1 second as I share this to the group. Share. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Um, good. I guess is it yeah, afternoon on the East Coast. So good afternoon, good morning, good day whenever you're seeing this, wherever you're seeing this from. Do us a favor, drop your city and your state, like the video, share the video. Dropping your city and state, it lets us know where you guys are tuning in from. Also, if you're a first time viewer, go ahead and type in number one in the comments. That lets us know that you're new and gives us an opportunity to reach out to new people and also ask certain questions for new viewers. My name is Eric. I'm a part of the Blanks Spot. We are a sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supply company. We're located just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, but we're broadcasting from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Actually, we're participating in an event, the Myrtle Beach Jazz Fest. That's going on this weekend. So if you are in that area, don't hesitate to come by and check us out. If you're here, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, there's going to be lots of vendors out there. We have content, lots of vendors out there, lots of food trucks, and lots of music. So if you like jazz, if you just like music in general, I think you would have a good time. And I can speak to that because this is our second year doing this event. Had a great time last year. Great turnout and everything was cool. So anyway, the topic of this discussion usually is a frequently asked questions Friday. However, we didn't get a chance to do that today. So I wanted to kind of see what type of value that I could add to our audience and talk about something that a lot of people have been discussing as they join our private Facebook group. And also, by the way, if you are not following us on Facebook, it is the Blanks Spot. That's for two S's. And then if you are not following us or subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is the Blanks Spot as well. You'll be able to see the replay there. So a lot of people have been joining our private Facebook group, and they've been asking about wanting to know how to get started in business. Um, whether you're in specific apparel business, you may call it a t-shirt business, t-shirt side hustle, um, whatever. But in order to get started in the t-shirt business, there's going to be some things that you're going to need. Specifically, let's talk about the equipment that you're going to need. Um, and you'll be surprised that there's a lot of things that you can do without if you start or if you wanted to start a t-shirt company or t-shirt business, t-shirt making company. But one of the things that you're going to need is you're definitely going to need a heat press. Um, whether you decide to go with a manual heat press that actually manually locks down, or whether you decide to go with a larger budget and go with an automatic um, heat press, you're going to definitely need a heat press. Using a hand heat press, using one of those um, what is it, the easy presses, that's not going to be your best friend. A lot of people started doing crafts, doing little projects with that easy press, and that's great for easy small projects. But when you're talking about making t-shirts to place designs such as this on some fabric or a garment, you're going to need some some uh, some consistent pressure. One of the things that I've learned since we've been doing this is that there are a lot of people who are definitely on a budget, but for the ones that are on a budget and want to get started anyway, a lot of people end up cutting corners. And the last thing that you want to do is cut corners on your equipment, on the type of equipment. I'm not talking about the amount of money that you spend on the equipment, but on the type of equipment that you purchase. to actually do the job correctly. But you're definitely going to need a heat press that can actually lock down. Pressing transfers or applying transfers to fabrics is going to take the right temperature, the right time, and the right pressure. Using a heat press that is considerably that you have to manually use, like an easy press, is not going to give you the ability to have consistent pressure. So you're going to find out if you try that, you're either going to have an uneven press as far as time, or you may have an uneven press as it pertains to that fabric actually adhering that transfer adhering to the fabric. So you got to have a heat press that can lock down. Um, that's going to be important. Now, when you're talking about pricing, one of the biggest that we get is what's the best heat press. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Getting the best heat press should not be your number one uh, concern. Getting started should be your number one concern. Here at the Blank Spot, we actually sell heat press bundles. Um, you can find that in the description, that link in the description. But or you can see our 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 website scrolling across the bottom, theblankspot.com. You can buy a heat press bundle from us. It's going to come with the heat press. It's going to come with 12 shirts and 12 transfers. That's going to get you started. However, um, buying the best heat press should not be your concern if you're just getting started. Buying a reliable heat press should be more of your concern. The best heat press may not be in your budget. And as a matter of fact, um, learning how to determine what works with what buying the best or the name brand, you'll actually learn that in the very near future. But you want to have a reliable heat press that locks down. Another question that people ask, well, what size heat press should I get? I'm going to be honest with you. If you can, if you can afford, if it's in your budget to get at least a 16 by 20 heat press, it's going to be to your advantage because the 16 by 20 heat press is going to assist you when you have to start pressing larger transfers onto larger fabrics. Okay, so that's going to be a plus for you. But if you cannot afford the 16 by 20 or the 16 by 24, starting off with a standard, and I say standard, starting off with 15 by 15, it's going to be perfect. Okay, it's just that you're going to have to learn how to maneuver. You're going to have to learn how to maneuver with that heat press if you have to press a larger item. Um, so if you guys are just jumping on, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. We're talking about starting a t-shirt business or your side hustle. There's lots of things that people want to know, what type, what kind, the best, and all that good stuff. Definitely be concerned about getting the most reliable. Um, our heat press bundle may not be in your so I would recommend you looking on Marketplace. You have a budget, look on Marketplace on Facebook. Also, you can slide over to Amazon. Amazon has some reliable heat presses. Just make sure when you're shopping, if you're able to, if to give reviews, look for the reviews. Um, find something that has some pretty good reviews, and that way you'll be well on your way. Also, find something that may be able to that may be able to be returned if there's an issue. So looking for um, looking for the right wattage, looking for the right receptacle, making sure it's a 110 plug if you're in the U.S. Making sure that it's two or 200 if you're overseas. If not, if you get the wrong receptacle plug into your wall, now you have to pay an extra cost to get an electrician or to get someone to rewire either your home or rewire that press. So that may be costly. So you want to ask those questions and look at those things. But getting a reliable heat press should be your biggest concern, not the name brand or the most expensive one. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, some of the cheaper or less expensive heat presses are gonna work just as good as the more expensive ones. We want to know what type of t-shirts or apparel you're going to want to offer. so many different types of t-shirt processes. And I'm going to name a few. Okay, there are printers that people have that print directly to the garment. It's called a DTG, direct to garment. That's a type of process. You have white toner transfers. You have DTF, direct to film transfers. You have screen print transfers, sublimation transfers. You have HTV, heat transfer vinyl transfers. And then you have different embroidery transfers, chenille patches, things like that. And I'm sure I left out some, but you have to find out what type of process you want to use. And that's going to be probably based off of what type of images you want to sell or you want to offer. But you do not, I'm going to say this loudly with my chest, you do not have to know how to design. Will it help? Absolutely. But you don't have to know how to design to get started. I believe that's one of the biggest myths to starting a t-shirt business or a t-shirt company is that you have to know how to design, especially if you're looking to sell t-shirts. Now, if you're looking to offer custom or personalized designs to your customers, then yes, designing is going to be your friend. However, if you think about it, you can go into any department store and you can find a garment with a picture or with writing on it, phrases on it that says mindset is everything. And there'll be several different colors of the same image, the same design, same message. Mindset is everything. People are shopping off the rack. So if people are going into department stores and shopping off the rack, it's not too far to think that you can sell the same images that are popular. If you're looking for inspiration, motivation, faith based, if you want to narrow it down to a genre where you're talking about moms, teachers, nurses, um, you're looking for Black history, American history, um, any type of holiday things, then you don't have to know how to design. You don't. There's more than enough suppliers out there that are supplying transfers to t-shirt makers. We're one of them. So learning how to design, in my opinion, as it pertains to starting a t-shirt business, it's going to be an afterthought. You don't have to know how to do that to start a business. Finding a reliable heat press and knowing what type of shirts you want to make or what type of apparel you want to make, and then knowing the transfer process you're going to use. Now, just because you choose a specific transfer process, that doesn't mean that you can't learn other processes, but you have to know what this process is good for and how it's going to work for you and how you're going to add value to your customers. Now, um, making the apparel, there's lots of different ways that you can learn to make the apparel. But there's no better way than looking at a tutorial, a demonstration, an instructional video to get you started. Okay. And then now I have the equipment and I can start making my own shirts. I can actually start pressing my own shirts. I shouldn't say make, pressing your own shirts. But it doesn't matter how many videos you watch. At the end of the day, you are going to have to get your hands on that equipment. You're going to have that shirt in hand, that transfer in hand, and you're going to have to press it. Okay. But before you decide to follow someone on social media, make sure you watch them. Check out their consistency. Check out what they're saying, what they're doing, and if what they're saying and doing adds value to what you want to do. Have they accomplished what you want to accomplish? That's going to help you. Um, be careful that you don't just jump into a lot of different groups, especially following people on social media platforms, jumping into these Facebook groups that people are actually not operating in a business aspect, but they're actually operating a craft or a hobby. Not that you can't learn from those groups, but if they're not doing business or conducting business and that's what you want to do, then find someone who's going to be doing that. That's the front end. That's making the items. Of course, finding your audience, knowing how to approach or address your audience, directing your items to that audience, using social media to market, advertise, things like that. Um, you may get to the point to where you want a website. If you're talking about a business, I strongly encourage that you consider getting a website. Why? Because a website will allow you to redirect your customers back to your home base being your business, which hosts your website. There's nothing wrong with opening up or creating an Etsy account. There's nothing wrong with opening up or creating a TikTok shop or an Amazon account or any other platform. I'm not familiar with a lot of different ones, but any other platform that allows you to sell on their platform as them uh, hosting your items as an affiliate. They will be the and you will be the contractor. There's nothing wrong with that, but just be mindful as you open up accounts, as you open up different platforms that's not yours. Those are really not your customers. So you have to be mindful of that. Um, let's see. I want to stay on topic. I don't want to throw too much at you. That's the front end of the business. The back end of the business is a little bit more difficult. To be honest with you, learning how to correctly put images on apparel is not that hard. It's really not. The hard part is if you're going to get a website, and if you're going to do that, now you have to drive traffic to that website. Because you have to advertise. The hard part is actually if you're going to be in business, you want to create a business name. And I'm going to talk about that in detail on a more intimate platform. The harder part is going to be understanding what type of inventory I should have, um, what type of inventory I should have, what type of items I should hold on to. There's going to be different things that you're going to need. Um, who I should be talking to as far as connecting with different businesses. Um, if you don't have a printer to do your main or to provide your main transfers, then you're going to want to connect with people, vendors, suppliers who can actually provide those things for you. And that may mean you you actually are getting samples, right? Um, a lot of times people don't understand when you're getting started, you can't just go out there and um, buy items from somebody that you don't know. You don't know that quality. You don't know how well it's put together. So you're gonna have to buy some samples, and that's another thing that we're going to be talking about in a more intimate setting. So, guys, if you're just jumping on, this is the Blank Spot. We are a sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supplier located just outside of Columbia, South Carolina, and we're talking about some key items to starting your t-shirt business. Thank you, everybody who's jumped on. This will be able to be viewed again on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube is the Blank Spot. So feel free to go there and subscribe if you haven't done so, and hit the bell to be notified when we go live. Friday, like I said, is normally set aside for frequently asked questions. However, we are not at our office. We're actually at an event. I just wanted to come in and kind of touch bases with our community, with our customers, to let you guys know that we're still thinking about you. If you're new and you want to get started, there's going to be a lot of different options out there. Okay. And it's going to be very scary getting started. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. Sometimes you just got to do it afraid. Most people are going to be afraid because they're not going to want to mess up. They're not going to want to mess up the inventory that they have. They're not going to want to make mistakes. But just remember, when getting started at anything, messing up and making mistakes is how you're going to learn. So it's not going to be a perfect thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other items that you may need that may be costly. You can literally start making. You can literally get started making t-shirts. If you have to start from scratch, meaning that you have to buy a heat press, to me that's scratch, because all you really need is a heat press. You can literally get started making shirts, I would say, for less than $300. Okay, for less than $300, honestly. You can probably find you a low end, low budget type heat press You can find you some decent quality shirts and some transfers. Watch a couple of videos, you know, make some shirts, try it out, and you can get started for less than $300. But here's the thing: you got to put in the work. You got to surround yourself around people who are going to actually help you to elevate and get to that next level. If not, you end up keeping that heat press in the box and you never get started. So just wanted to come on today and drop that message to you. It's not that hard to start your t-shirt business. Um, the people overthink the process, but it's really not that hard. Find you a good heat press, a reliable heat press. Get you somebody to make you some transfers and get those transfers, and then get you some t-shirts and you're ready to get started. Other than that, you can grow from there. Um, Spending a whole lot of money in the beginning, you're gonna wanna do that because you're gonna see a lot of different people doing a lot of different things. But you don't need to invest in a printer right off the bat, because you really don't know if you're gonna do it or not. You don't want to invest in things that you may not end up using, and later on you feeling regretful because hey, you spent all this money. So anyway, just wanted to come on and drop those nuggets. Hopefully you found some value in what I shared. Make sure you like the video, share the video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube once again. Like us on Facebook and follow us as well. And we'll be back with more information. Make sure you stay tuned because we're going to do like I said, a more intimate setting where we talk about the intricacies of actually starting a business, the behind the scenes, the record keeping. We're going to talk about that. The financing. We're going to talk about that. The funding, the financing, the record keeping, inventory. We're going to go into detail about that. So just stay tuned when we announce that. And you guys have a better than amazing day. Like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. We'll see each and every one of you guys at the top because there are too many people struggling at the bottom. Peace.